and this is the Modern Craftsman Podcast with
Tyler Grace from TRG Home Concepts.
Nick Schiffer with NS Builders.
Johnny Horahan from Vintage Builders.
Jason Burgess with Burgess Homes.
Attaboy.
So Jay is, him and I went to college together.
That's too bad.
I know.
He copied all my answers.
That might be true.
Yo, Benny, let's take care of that, man.
Yeah, come on.
We got technical difficulties broadcasting.
No, it's just
here.
Benny.
How is it? Is that better?
You good?
Just,
Cool. So Jay, you
is it super loud?
yeah, that's
right?
super loud.
Like, real loud, right?
You want to back up, start again?
The whole
For
thing.
what? No,
Oh.
we don't have to start over.
All right.
This is good.
Edit it.
No, we don't
Benny.
edit. All right.
Is it too loud?
So, all right, we're good.
Oh, it's good? Is that real loud?
Can we just go?
It's good?
All right, we're good.
All right, we're good.
You guys done this before?
No. First time.
So Jay, you just started your own company,
Yes.
Burgess,
Nice. High five.
Burgess Homes.
Yep.
Take us through the process. Well, how long have you been doing it?
6 months.
Okay.
What are you
Full-time.
doing?
Building and remodeling. You know, I focus a lot on high performance stuff. I have a good, a lot of passion for building science and doing stuff better, and not just the normal everyday stuff, but still do kitchens, baths, and everything. So
Are the kitchens and baths to keep you busy at this point?
yeah, right now for sure. I had a kind of a backlog of them, so knocking them out, and
So, all right. So I'm going to backtrack because I know obviously, and the audience does not. But who did you work for before?
I worked for a small builder out of my town. His name was Dave Holton, and we built custom homes. Usually around 5,000 square foot homes. We did everything frame to finish. We even poured foundations ourselves.
Like
Did
old school.
flat work.
Yeah.
Super old school guy. Hand cut everything, and it was a lot of fun.
And you left there to do energy.
Hold on, but what was your position there?
Carpenter.
At least
Yeah.
lead carpenter?
This just carpenter. I mean, I started with him when I was like 14 years old as a laborer, and this worked for him for over 10 years, and was one of his main guys. There was only 3 of us in the company, and we got it done. We certainly weren't the fastest guys around. We do about one house a year, but we were there from start to finish, and the customers really liked seeing us, the same guys, every day. And
Dude, I would love to know the math on one house a year. 3 guys plus an owner. Was the owner one of the 3 or just?
oh yeah, he was right there.
So 1 of 3, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just love to know the math on that.
Dude, the math was we charged time and material for doing 7,000 square foot houses.
Wow.
That makes the math really easy, actually.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like, hey, we worked 120 hours this week, so here you go.
That was how we did it, and just our quality and customer service was there, so that people liked it.
Is he still building?
He's retired, but he's still building.
I love the smirk when you ask that.
One of the kitchens I'm doing right now, he just built the cabinets for it. So
That's
Really?
so
That's
cool.
cool.
yeah.
So
Maybe he's my dad.
Does he have 3 guys working, or is it just him now?
No, it's just him.
Just him.
Yeah, he's
So
done with the
part-time,
company.
retired.
Yeah, he's just the type that's got to be doing something. So, and
What made
I know that type.
yeah.
you do? What? When and why did you leave?
Well, I just saw greater opportunities. Wanted to try something different. When I left, I actually went and worked at the same company as you there in Boston, and just something different. We were working at high rises, doing commercial construction, and just looking for a change, looking for a pay raise too. So that,
Which came first?
what do you mean?
The pay raise or a change?
It was both at the same time.
Because I feel like everyone says the change part, but the reality is someone didn't give them what they wanted, didn't value them enough, so the change had to happen. And I was getting paid very well. I wanted a different atmosphere.
Yeah. I actually liked the atmosphere a lot. I guess so. Maybe the pay was more of it.
Okay.
Because in fact, the job that I ended up taking, was offered it, a year or so before I ended up taking it, and I was like, no way. What would I want to do? Leave building beautiful lake houses and these, big custom houses to go work in the city. So I said no at first, and just, it wore me down for a year, and I decided,
that seed
what the
was
hell?
planted.
Yeah, give it a shot, and I was out there for a few years, and it was fun. Learned a lot. So it's good. But then I did go and do some energy work as a director of operations for a energy savings company.
So I still have no idea what you did there.
We saved companies' energy.
I know, but how? Like, what did you do?
Mostly,
They got them rebates, and they felt like they saved a lot of money.
we did get a lot of rebates, but it was mostly changing out fluorescent and halogen lights to LED, and got state rebates that would.
So now it's all blue light, and they can't go to bed.
No, it doesn't have to be blue light.
Oh, yeah.
You can get LEDs in any color light you want. No, but there's some productivity aspects to the bluer light actually.
True.
So some guys ate that up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But then here I am back in residential construction.
But it started with one house in particular, I think, your house.
Yeah, I wanted to do a little experiment with my house.
That was quite an experiment.
It's a hell of an experiment.
Tell us more, Bill Nye.
Well, it's a full height ICF house. So from footing to the roof is insulated concrete forms. Start at 8-inch, go to 6-inch. Hell of a lot of rebar in them. 8-inch on center and the foundation.
Had you done this before with
I did
ICF?
a small addition foundation with them before.
So not a ton of experience.
Not a ton, one little job. Well, but I really like the technology. I love the simplicity. I was really thinking it was the best way to go below grade, and I like the idea of being able to carry the same system above grade, continuous.
Uniform?
Totally uniform, no thermal bridges anywhere, no breaks, nothing. It's just the same thing all the way up. And it's a continuous R25, which is pretty good. And
Well, I think a keynote, because we dug into it a little bit, you say a continuous R25, where everyone's like, well, that's not that much insulation, but the key word is continuous.
yeah,
Where
zero thermal break.
Right, most walls aren't, it could be an R25, but you have a thermal break with the wood stud, or...
Exactly. Yeah, there's no continuous bridge through it at all anywhere. So I really like that, and it's the strongest. I still think it's definitely the strongest way to build. So I like that aspect. I'm up on a hill. The weather's getting worse, so you never know. Tornado. I'm ready.
I still want to go deeper into that. Is there a bunker?
There might be some secret doors and secret rooms, but
You don't have a bunker,
that's
do
as
you?
much as I can tell.
I know you have a secret room, but I don't think you have a bunker. But I
See,
don't know.
you just said A, so you already don't know the whole story.
Ah. All right. I know a little bit.
Yeah, but no, I like it. I went with the standing seam metal roof. Really like going for the low maintenance. I designed the whole house myself. Fairly simple form, but try to go a little bit nicer details, larger overhangs, big windows. Went with the Marvin Integrity full Ultrex windows. So it's, I didn't want any material that could rot on the outside or in the frame. And
So what'd you finish the outside with?
I did use the LP Smart Side for siding with Boral trim, which I've used Boral for a long time. I love that product. The LP was the first time using it. And
Why not go Boral all the way like you did with the ICF, make it a uniform product that...
At the time, I wasn't too familiar with their siding. I think it was just coming out. This is, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now. So it was so new. I didn't know much about it, and I liked the look of the LP, and strong and worked well, pre-finished, and gives it a good look. So
I haven't used it. I was just asking.
yeah, I do like the Boral though. Is such a good product.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there was a reason why you didn't use it,
No.
so I wanted to know, keep
Nope.
me in the loop.
Yeah, tried the LP, and that seems to be a great product too.
Where were you modeling your build from? Like, had you seen previous ICF builds from basically foundation through the roof?
Not in person. I might have seen some articles and things on them, but just my one experience of doing an addition with it for the foundation, and that was probably 15, 20 years ago. Just got me hooked. Ever since then, I was like, this is sweet. This is a slick system.
That's such a ballsy move.
Yeah.
Just to go, hey, I'm going to build a house. I've done it once, in
Yeah.
addition, and I'm going to do my whole house.
Yeah.
What was the learning curve like?
Well,
when was that time where you were like, dude, maybe this is a bad idea?
probably installing the siding, because I ended up pre-drilling and screwing all the siding on, and that slowed things down. So
no furring strips
No,
and
man,
go
they
that
can
way?
Rot.
No.
They can rot.
I didn't like the idea of making it any thicker. The wall's already a foot thick, so I didn't want to go thicker. So I applied it directly to it.
What's another 3/4 at that point?
It's thicker.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's drilling and screwing every piece of clap that goes on that thing.
Yeah.
That is, all right.
Yeah, but it worked, you know? It looks good. So.
That makes sense why I text you on a weekend. You'd be like, oh, I'm still siding my house.
It's been 4 months.
Yeah, and there's a lot of siding there, too. It's like a 2,400 square foot house with a 4-car garage.
How many drill bits do you go through?
Actually, quite a few.
So it was because you were screwing into a piece of plastic, right?
Yeah, into the plastic, the embedded plastic strips in the ICF forms. So, they say you can nail. I just felt more comfortable with screws. Yeah.
I would feel more comfortable as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be comfortable nailing that.
Yeah, they say with a ring shank nail it, it has the holding capacity, but I figured why not go screw.
And your drywall is screwed right to it, right?
Yeah, and that too, the dry, I had subbed out the drywall, and the guys are complaining a little bit about, screw stripping and there's gaps between some of the furring, and so it was a little bit of an issue, but not bad.
Walk us through the electrical and rough-ins for that. Sorry, am I taking it?
No, I just wanted to talk. That was like what I was trying to get to is I remember walking. I'll let you tell the story.
We can edit my question out.
No,
you can
totally have this, John. But I just remember seeing when you guys were doing the rough, and you're like, "Hey, check out what my dad made."
Yeah.
So I'll let you tell it. But it was just, I looked at it, I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, probably not OSHA approved method, but my father's my electrician, and we took an old skill saw with like a lesser tooth, maybe a 40 tooth framing type blade, and we took pliers and bent the teeth out every other one to make it like a dado blade, and that worked great to just carve a nice groove through the foam.
And it wasn't even wild. Like his dad,
you should patent that.
His dad's so anal about that stuff. So I got there and it's just like straight channels for like Romex running everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
had the router out, right?
Yeah.
With the track.
Thing is, you get a little bit of concrete.
He'd have like lasers out.
So you'd ruin a router a bit pretty quick, but
That's
it works well.
crazy.
It works good. Although you look like a snowman after you do it.
How many pairs of safety glasses did you go through?
Yeah.
What safety glasses?
Yeah, exactly.
How'd the guard fit on the sauce though?
What's a guard?
Yeah, right.
No, it was a little bit of a dangerous tool, but it worked. I know it's an electric chainsaw I hear works just as well.
Yeah.
So
to his point, he asked about electrical and plumbing. So besides obviously the wire chases, what challenges did you deal with on the exterior?
I mean, that was it. I kept all the plumbing out of the exterior by design. And another kind of funky thing I did was I put a standing seam metal roof on it, and I didn't want any holes in that roof. So my plumbing stack and everything doesn't go through the roof. I went through the rake board with my plumbing, worked it out with the inspector, made it all good. So there are zero penetrations in my roof. It's a point of failure. You cut through that steel. You have a raw edge of steel. You got to space screw the boots on a metal roof. You're relying on the sealant and the screws for that penetration boot to seal watertight. And one less thing to fail.
Was it still a vertical stink pipe?
It comes out horizontal.
With that,
it's got to be a slight pitch, right?
It's pitched for drainage, yeah, sure. But my radon pipe as well does the same thing. Got to put that in now.
How's that look?
No one even notices it.
Is it on the back?
It's on the back when it's 40 feet up, so tall house in the back.
40-foot concrete wall.
Yeah.
So bathroom vents just core through?
Yeah, those are up into the soffit area, so I did a truss roof on it, raised heel truss, so those went through the raised heel section.
Okay.
Which in retrospect, I should have went with the continuous ERV system, which I still might convert it to it. I have an ERV hooked up to my heating system, but it only runs when the heating system runs, and that's not very often.
Okay.
So, like right now, I've been leaving it on.
So you have to. You should switch it over.
Yeah. Just for the fresh air. I've been leaving the ERV on now, and it works, keeps the humidity down. Without it, it gets humid inside actually, even in the winter. So it's important. That was one of my biggest lessons learned.
Planning on moving?
I'm sorry?
You planning on moving?
You making an offer?
Ever?
I might. I part of me wants to do it better, so I have sights on doing something better.
That's pretty cool. He's got a 10-foot basement that he can drive into?
Yeah, it's 10-foot ceiling height, so the 12-foot walls and 9x9 garage door on it.
So it's under a garage. It's underneath the other garage, right? Or underneath the home?
It's underneath the house,
yeah.
And then I got 2 9x9 doors on the side for another garage. So
that launched Burgess Homes.
Yeah, that was kind of my starting point. That's kind of what I want to do more of those. I got a few people I'm talking to that are interested and hoping to kick some off here.
So you said in the beginning that you want to focus on high energy and more comfortable homes. You hear a million people say that and say, "Oh, we build high efficient homes," or high comfortability. What's your take on that? And there's obviously certain focuses that you're putting more effort towards. Is it the Windows HVAC system? What part are you trying to focus to build a better home?
The envelope. So the whole thermal envelope. Even in the remodels I'm doing, we're typically using spray foam. There's a lot more involved than just good insulation too. It's about having that capillary break, the whole, a complete circle around the property, under the slab, insulated under the slab and all that.
What did you seal your ICF with prior to siding?
Nothing.
That's what Matt was talking about, that
it's still leaky.
Yeah, like the poly wall that he's
liquid applied.
Yeah, the entire building.
An ICF building?
Yeah. Which would be crazy.
Because there's technically no barrier, right? Water vapor barrier?
No. But there's nothing to rot either is my viewpoint on it. So
what about backside of drywall?
For mold.
I use a vapor barrier paint inside, so I guess that vapor barrier primer, everything.
What dictated that?
That's just what I always do. That's what I've always done.
Because you alluded that it gets humid inside.
Yeah, just because there's no air exchange, and.
But that moisture is being created from outside?
No, it's from showering and cooking. So without running that continuous ventilation, the humidity stays around 65%. So
you sprayed your roof?
Yeah, I did spray foam up there. I used an open cell spray foam with a vapor barrier.
Would you do that again?
No issues with it, and it's more affordable than going closed cell. The vapor barrier is, a liquid applied. It's almost like a paint. So maybe it gives me a little concern, but I was actually up there the other day looking around and no sign of any excessive moisture or anything. It's continuous overall, the framing members too, so there's no thermal bridging up there either. So far so good.
I got you.
Yeah, you're knocking on wood over there.
He usually has a piece of wood in his pocket.
I'm going to make a keychain.
That's funny. But
I don't know. I feel like on that end of the industry, I don't get into that. So it's always very interesting, the building science portion of that. Even what Matt's talking about as far as where you are in the country and air passing through warmer climates, colder climates, and how to, I guess, mitigate that or alleviate that best as possible blows my mind.
Yeah, it's there's no one answer for it.
Yeah.
And you have to take into consideration everything. And I think, at least my viewpoint, and I'm early on in the nerding out on this stuff because I am interested in it. But the way I look at it is, there are so many factors that the moment something's not 100%, you're just the issues compound because everything else was so tight, or it was designed to be building tight and mechanically ventilate. And the moment you have something that doesn't, for instance, like a range hood, if you're exhausting 1100 CFM and nothing is making up for that, and you're creating negative pressure in your walls and you're sucking moisture into your wall, how is that an issue? Is it a big issue? How do you fix it? Things like that. So, I applaud you for putting that so high up in your, kind of your standard as building. But there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah.
So what's your Rolodex if someone comes to you and doesn't want an ICF house? what is your next level of standard?
Some sort of continuous layer of insulation, depending on the budget, whether it's, just a standard frame house with, rigid foam on the outside, or a double wall maybe. The double wall seems to be a pretty good way to go.
You could do the R-sheathing that these guys have.
Yeah, R-sheathing.
Not a fan?
I haven't used it personally, but I think it's a great product. That eliminates all the thermal bridging right there, and still very standard for running all utilities inside. You can still use,
It's your closest to standard construction without having to add a cost and all that.
Yeah, just some longer nails.
It's a straight up replacement, not a...
Agreed. And it's when the code changes that you have to have a thermal break, this will be the way to go because doing everything else with drainage plan and all that stuff, adding foam to the outside, flashing windows, all that, this is eliminated with that.
Yeah, because you're able to attach everything on the, the face of the sheathing.
There shouldn't be a large learning curve with it.
I agree.
No, it's not. It's the same thing as anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they detail it out pretty well. There's details on that system that, for me, even like the outside corner on that bigger R sheathing that I think could be, there's better options for that, like we had talked about, the half lap and stuff like that.
So I'm going to give them a shout out. Sweener Builders in Rhode Island, the kid last night that we chatting with, his father, I caught him before we grabbed lunch, and he picked up a new TS75 from Festool, and I was chatting with him for a minute. He's like, yeah, we're going to use that R12 zip sheathing. I'm like, what do you need a track saw for? He goes, I'm going to miter all my corners.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, are you serious? He's like, dude, right? I'm like, you're taping it, right?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I know, but the miter is going to be so cool.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, all right, man. You guys are just so next level. It's awesome.
Gotta get some clamps.
But that's amazing that he's got everything else so thought out that he's dug so deep into details.
I was like, you can lap it. He goes, yeah, you could.
Why would you?
That's sick.
He's like, I have to have the T75 for it.
Seems like a half lap would be a good option, though.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is nailing on that outside corner. At that point, all of your trim boards, you don't really have anything to nail to on the foam.
Right.
And not to knock them, but like
the ceiling.
Their literature says that you can just butt
and then tape it.
And that leaves the thickness of the foam a gap.
Yeah,
and
which is
half inch of
it's not an issue from from their standard. Like you can still tape it and you're fine. But when you go to nail a corner board on, it's like, wait, what am I nailing into?
Yeah. But you have some of those issues with ICF too.
Right.
You only have nailing.
So what do they do for outside corners? Is there additional plastic?
There's some additional plastic. You just gotta kind of plan ahead and make sure your seams end where they should.
Now, do they offer? Now I'm talking like the technical side of ICF. Is it always the same kind of foam?
Nope, different foam available. Mostly expanded polystyrene, but also they have a graphite version, which is slightly high R value, which I actually did use subgrade.
Is that the gray stuff?
The gray stuff, yeah. Which looks like not as bright in your eyes too when you're building with it. A big white styrofoam house is actually pretty bright when the sun shines.
How was the process with the building department and getting all your approvals and all that stuff?
Well, I was fortunate enough that the inspector in town was in the concrete industry for most of his life, so he was geeking out over it more than anybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
how many levels did you do for pours?
3 levels. The basement. Then I built the deck, which I used open web top bearing trusses sitting on a brick ledge.
Okay.
And then I built the next pour, next foam, frame, set of blocks and pour, and then built the second floor deck, and then did it again. So in the garage too is all ICF as well.
So in your 3 levels up, like or 2 levels up, are you shoring that on the outside as well?
Yeah.
So you got diagonals running all the way down the ground?
For bracing, yes, yeah. The manufacturer of the block makes specific bracing for it.
What, do they rent it?
Yeah, you rent it, and it's got built-in staging platforms that you can work off. It makes it super easy.
Wait, the guy he's here, right, at JLC?
Yep, Logix.
Logix.
Yeah.
I don't think I said it. We're back at the Huber booth here at JLC 2018 with Jay Burgess Homes, and I remember a few years ago. I remember you chatting with a guy at Logix, and I left you because you were there for like 2 hours.
Oh, I love it.
And then next thing I know, he's like, "I'm building a Logix house."
No, I love it. Yeah, there's so many good products here, though. Every year it's more and more.
Yeah, I like the show. It's way more manageable. There's tools,
I know.
and I just think it's like who should be here. There's not all the other fluff.
Right.
Yep.
It's a great show.
I think everyone.
That being said,
agrees.
I've seen 2 booths.
I know, but I think everyone agrees with you. Look how many people are here.
Yeah.
Compared to other shows.
They said registration was up over 2,000 from last year, just this morning. Which, did you have to wait in line for your badge?
Oh, the line was huge.
Hour and a half. Some people were waiting.
Did you tell them that
went
you
quick.
have a Logix house? They're like,
They didn't listen to me.
Yeah. Tell them that,
I know the guy in the overalls.
Nick's taking credit for the increase.
Is that right?
I am, yeah.
He likes to take credit for most things.
Whoa! You were not supposed to
So
say
you
that.
do know Nick.
you were building this whole house while working your old job?
Nights and weekends. Yep, working my old full-time job, traveling, an hour commute plus, so didn't leave much time.
Is
But
it done?
are they ever done?
That's a
Yeah.
great
Nick's
question.
Nick's third floor is done.
Nick of
John's
all
like,
people.
Hey,
painted?
we're not talking about me. We're talking about Jay.
Nah, it's not painted yet.
A couple small details left, but it's
That's like
99%.
my house. The girls' room's done, but I don't have any hardware on the doors. It's like, what do you need hardware for?
Yeah.
I'll probably keep it off till they're like 18. No, you're not going to put a lock on
20.
your door. Sorry. I'll take the whole
Probably
door
better.
Yep. It's funny.
off. For me, working for the job that you did, like there's something super romantic about that for me, like where you take it away from the business aspect and take away the growth, and you're building for the sake of building and obviously creating a living, but like your boss obviously wanting control over certain aspects of the build, being all of them. And it's like the older generations where even Tom Silva was talking about, where it's like a true general is doing everything. And I think that like your position growing up from 14 until you stopped working there, having your hands in every one of those trades, like nobody does that anymore. Everyone specializes. How many opportunities are going to be for kids now to come and work for somebody where they're self-performing all these trades? That's crazy. Like that's an opportunity of a lifetime at this point. If this is what you want to do, you won't get that in school. You won't get that working for a sub. You won't get that working as a project manager.
No, I mean, you're exactly right. Everyone specializes in one thing.
I mean, I do a lot, but I don't do like that heavy work. I don't have the manpower, and I honestly don't have the
You're
knowledge.
not laying block for that
No.
addition. You're hiring a mason.
But I do think that, the PM end of it, or GC, you have to be comfortable with all that.
Yeah, but how much more comfortable would you be coming from a job where you did
I
all
did.
of that?
I'm
you know?
100% agreeing with you. It's just that's the closest you get, is that when you're a GC, you will touch almost everything. And if you know certain things, subs will actually work with you better. Other ways, guys will see right through you. I've had good carpenters that are great with one end of it, which is the framing end and finished trim. But then when they get in the plumbing and look for stuff on how vents are and all that, they just don't understand and comprehend that part of it. So I think it's the best progression to then become a GC and own your own thing when you know it all. That way you don't get burned.
Yeah, I mean, my viewpoint, I think there's a balance there somewhere. I mean, obviously you can be a lot quicker subbing out to specialty guys, but maybe the quality's not there, or maybe it causes you just more headaches or this or that. But so there's a balance, I think. But
How are you going to grow your company besides trying to steal Mike?
Come on. That's not true, by the way.
He thought about it.
No, I think I'll be self-reporting a lot of work for a while here, and then see how it goes. I think the industry is demanding more of the specialty trade, and I think technology is advancing certain things too, where my thought is if I can keep a small crew and have more pre-manufactured things, it's more of an assembly on site, whether it be SIP panels or precast foundations, that sort of thing, I think is the way of the future. And a small company with a few guys that have their hands on everything can compete with a production builder that subs out to large crews. I think the quality.
There's a bit of a jump there, though.
How do you mean?
You just jump from someone self-performing everything to a production crew.
Well, still
there's other
self-performing.
guys that will massage that where it's not straight production.
You just say massage.
I did. Should I have not said that?
You said romantic earlier, too.
You did, yeah.
True.
Sorry, Benny.
I didn't expect that. When I sat down, I was like, nobody's going to say massage during this podcast.
So we had a list. I thought we were checking off all those words that we couldn't use in construction.
I think the weirdest part was this. Nobody else saw the hand gesture, the massage.
I don't know. I don't think I'm doing production homes.
You don't think you're doing?
No.
How do you see the things progressing? Like technology taking over certain things, changing the way how you do things? Do you see that at all?
No, I just... Like what kind of technology?
Prefab, SIP panels.
No, I mean, I think they're trying to push that. I see that more in Avalon's and more. That's what National Lumber's, that's where their money is.
The panelized walls.
The panelized wall system is where they make a ton of money in trusses. So they're shoving that down everyone's throat to make it easier, because that way you can get to more stuff.
Do you think in 100 years you'll still be stick framing houses?
I hope not. That's why we're doing a podcast.
I hear you. I mean, yeah, it's just not much different than how they were building houses 200 years ago, if you ask me. Wood.
Yeah.
Wood has its problems. But it's easy to work with.
Sometimes. Cursed.
Depends
many
on who's
would
working
before.
with it.
Yeah.
No, I think if nobody's pushing the envelope, no pun intended, I think that's what we need. Like, it's not just about the older guys who have been in it or getting bored or want to get their hands in something else. Like, I think it is good to question what you're doing, why you're doing it, and start pushing it. Like, nobody's doing that. And to get into that, to try that approach, because not just because you want to differentiate yourself, but you believe that is the potential for a better home. Go all in on that. Like, I don't have a problem with that. There's no reason. I mean, there's issues with every house that you build, just like there's issues with the type of house that you're going to build. But if you can mitigate those issues and build the best house that you can, like, I think that's a good thing.
Agreed. Everyone's going to have their point of view. That's the beauty of this trade. Right. Everyone has a different approach. So I guess you just said something where it was like, you think that the specialty trade is coming back more. It's more of a demand. Why?
Well, I think part of it is each trade requires so much equipment and things. For one guy to be able to handle all the trades, he has to have a warehouse full of different equipment, which is obviously cost prohibitive. So where a guy that does siding all day has certain tools that are going to make him do it so much quicker. A guy that doesn't have those tools, that tries to do it because he only does it once a year, just can't compete with the
So it's speed
and cost. Obviously one and the same, or they affect each other. But
yeah, I mean, I think like even Tyler, like you're doing all the carpentry and then you're doing tile. And that's two totally. You could have two totally, huh?
And paint.
Yeah. I mean, you could have 3 different vehicles.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. You do need space, and as I progressed in my career and my business, it's not. I was initially self-performing because I didn't have a sub pool. I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to do the work myself to know what I needed to sub it out, and then it got to a point where I knew what I was doing, and I ended up either needing my subs to step up to the plate, and they weren't, and then I started self-performing out of necessity. But as I made that decision, like, okay, I'm not going to sub out my tile work anymore because I'm not happy, I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in, and I go out and I buy the tools that I need to do it.
Right.
At first I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to be a kitchen remodeler, and I'm going to buy a cheap Home Depot saw. And then like when I was like, all right, I'm serious and I'm going to invest in this, I went out and I buy like a nice saw, a nice snapper, and I want to, whatever I'm doing, I want to be able to do the best that I can do. And that's not that I'm the best at it, but I want to give myself the opportunity to execute at the highest level possible. And you can't do that without proper training, without doing it enough, and without the proper tools.
Right.
It's just like he said, if you don't do siding every day and you don't have the tools, it's going to take you longer, you're not going to get as good results, and you end up rigging things. Like if you want to self-perform, that's fine, do it, but know the investment that you have to do. Don't just self-perform because like, hey, it's quicker, it's a scheduling issue, or I could do everything pretty good myself. Like, just like you're specializing, be the best at everything that you're doing. Be the best that you can do.
Would you guys like to see that come back? Where it's more where like your last company, how you guys self-performed so much of that. Is it a shame if that dies off?
I don't think it's a shame because I think it's comes down to whatever's better. And at the end of the day,
as long as quality's not lost.
As long as quality's not lost, if you can build a house twice as fast, I mean, who's going to complain about that?
No, I'm just talking out loud, just trying to. Because I mean, that's how I grew up. But I don't look. I look around and I don't see a lot of, like, we did almost everything, board, even drywall, the whole nine. And I couldn't name. If we look around this room right now with all the people here, there's not a lot of guys that are touching that much. Like, I mean, Nick, you're actually one of the exceptions to this thing. Is that you could just buy cabinets. You could just buy millwork from anywhere, and that would simplify the process.
And everyone says, Nick, you shouldn't be building that stuff. You can monetize and remodel and buy that and make a better product.
Why are you controlling it? That's really what it is.
My initial answer is brand, because I want people, when people walk into a home, I want them to look around and be like, I know exactly who built this house. And
every piece of it.
Every single piece. Yep. And then people could argue, well, you don't make the tile, you don't make the trim, you don't mill the millwork. No, maybe we do one day.
You're not going to make lighting either.
Yeah, it's just...
We used to make millwork. Huh? We used to hand carve our own blades and everything.
Yeah.
Don't recommend it.
Dude, but how old are you?
30.
Just so people know, because I can't see you.
Yeah.
Most people.
Do I look younger?
Most people that say that will be like 70.
Right. No, I mean that's exactly why I want to control it, because I want people to recognize who built it, and I love the
signature.
Signature.
Don't you offer something that you can't get at a cabinet shop?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone comes and says we want to use this kitchen cabinet, at the end of the day, if we can still put a stamp on it and it's quality and we're dealing with a quality product and we can warranty it, absolutely. Like we'll have that discussion. But that's a lengthy discussion, where if I build the cabinetry, that's a warranty and we stand behind that forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if there's something wrong with it, we built it. We know how it was built. We know the issue that it has.
I mean, I love the fact that's one of the biggest lead items that can absolutely crush your schedule. So the fact that you're controlling it, it's awesome.
Right.
It makes sense to do that. It's not like but it is a burden that you have that it's not like an easy thing that you do and you eliminate that issue. It's a huge burden that comes along with it.
Oh yeah, I mean there is nothing about doing that made it easier, except for the fact that we control when it gets built. And even that, I'm sure Ken's probably listening, but it's like we're 10 weeks for cabinets from the time of approved shop drawings. If everything goes well, because it's a small shop, it's 2 guys, and we're building everything for our projects, but we're also being hired to do, just a custom mudroom. So then we're just building cabinetry for that. It is, you're right, it's a burden, but
I love it.
The signature behind it is more important, because at the end of the day, when, as we grow, we get to control and really put a stamp on the entire project.
Well, I think the value you bring to that project, a la carte, like Woodmeister, a lot of those companies that we know of that are at the higher end control their own millwork.
Right.
Moldings, everything. They don't go off. They can basically offer something that no one else can.
Right.
Their own knives, their own stuff, where, like when we talked to our boy in England, where it's his own paint.
Humphrey Munson.
Munson,
like he was like,
and he's on his way to own countertop materials, like tops.
All his hardware is proprietary.
Yeah.
Everything.
Doorknobs, hinges. The paint, he owns every paint.
Like if you want a red kitchen,
he won't do it.
You're not getting a kitchen from him.
It's on his brand.
Okay.
Imagine that. Just like,
you pick my color. I want everyone, and I say it all the time. It's like, when you're scrolling on, especially on Instagram, you see a kitchen that was built, there's no question who built that kitchen. It's so distinctive. And that's what he did. He's like, I control the entire process. So there's no one's putting ridiculous countertops on top of it or painting it ridiculous colors. That's not why they come to us. They come to us because they love what we build.
Can't complain with that.
No. Cool.
Very cool.
Jake, congrats.
Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
How can we find you?
You You can check out my new website. Just got it online a week ago. Builtbyburgess.com.
Hold on. All right.
He's 6 months in.
Yeah, not everyone else is like, so my website's still under construction. Burgess is like, yeah, my website's done.
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 I thought you were looking at me. I'm like, I got 3 months. I still got 3 more months to catch up.
So I interrupted. Say that again.
Builtbyburgess.com.
It's a great name.
You can contact me right from there. It's got my story, how I got started and everything, and
Instagram J.R.Burgess.
You got it.
So we try to remember to do this, but in the morning, the crushing. You're looking at me like,
sorry. I didn't know where you were going. I was like,
Yeah.
what's in the morning?
Who you typically crushing on Instagram? Like, who's the first person that when you wake up you want to see something that they're doing?
Like,
their
what
project?
are they building right now? Like
Other
something.
than Nick. You can't say Nick.
Will you still be my friend if I don't do that?
Depends on who it is.
Or what if I don't do it at all? I'm not into the Instagram as big as you guys, for sure. It's
All right. So what?
It's a part-time thing.
What
What
inspires
media?
you?
What media?
what media?
Yeah. Like, what do you picking up a fine home building every morning and flipping through an article, or?
I think the biggest thing lately I've been doing is doing home tours. There's that group that actually I think you turned me on to, and
NISA?
NISA,
Or
yeah,
NEC?
NEASCA.
New England's, I don't know. Sustainability,
Yeah.
energy.
That's
priority.
that's been a huge inspiration for me. And I know there's a tour next week I'll be going to, and that and these shows too, to seeing the new
I
products.
think it's Nessie.
See?
Thanks, John.
Sorry, I just.
Let's see.
Yeah. Things like that. Certainly I scroll through some stuff online, but mostly what I see on there is more finished type stuff, and
Are you involved with? Is it? I'm gonna butcher his name. Gary Striegler.
Gary's it.
Nope.
Westboro. He's the one that writes all the energy and
He
building
writes
science books.
a lot of it, but there's also Transformations Inc.
No,
Carter Scott.
not Gary Striegler.
No.
He's the guy who does like the
This stuff.
This.
Sorry, yeah.
Shoot.
You
I
messed
messed it up.
Yeah, no, but like you
Westboro,
you know
Mass.
Carter Scott?
I don't.
Carter Scott you should look him up. He owns Transformation Inc. He's the one who basically built an entire neighborhood, started off making it zero energy, and he's the one who worked with like Mitsubishi and got mini splits to go under 10 degrees. Under negative 10 degrees.
No kidding,
He basically created a whole neighborhood, and it was his own little mad scientist lab. So you'll watch the solar panels, they change as the evolution of solar went on. So the person in the first house is like the first guinea pig, and then as it goes through, it's awesome. He does tours as well.
Yeah.
Now they have their own solar company that they've broken away from. Carter Scott is his name.
I'll tell you one thing that's probably the biggest inspiration, I'm sure you guys see it too, is all the, I work in a lot of old houses too, and back fixing rotted boards, rotted sills, this and that just, to me, it drives me crazy. There's got to be a better way, So that's probably, inspires me to find better ways to do it.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know
should
if
get
I've-
him on the summer camp that Matt's going to.
That's what I'm talking about. Who runs that?
Gary Striegler.
I can't believe I messed his name up.
No, it's
Here you can find him doing a coffered ceiling install 2 aisles over in his spare time.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
I gotta admit, I don't think I've ever heard anyone said that rotted sills inspire them.
Now you have. You're welcome.
I'm
that
pretty sure
box off.
anytime I've ever encountered a rotted sill, I
Well,
was definitely not inspired, probably a little more angry.
Well, that's it. Who likes to replace them? Nobody. So, don't want to see another one again. So
That's true.
I don't want the houses I build to have them, 100 years from now.
I got
true.
Gary Parsons.
no, I don't think it's a Gary at all.
Damn.
I think it's
Well,
whatever.
it's in Westford, Mass, and he does a building science symposium.
And you know who it's not. So
Yes, it's not
you
Gary
basically
Striegler. So
should
I
be very
apologize,
easy
Gary,
to find.
if you listen to our podcast. And I apologize for the name I'm forgetting. And Matt Reisinger is going to totally call me out on this. So he will. He'll DM me, and I'll DM it to you. All right.
There we go.
Cool.
Whatever works.
So we are podcasting live from a Huber booth at JLC 2018. Thank you for graciously donating this space to us. Twice, yeah.
Dos.
Those. You can find us, our website, is not done, but it's www.themoderncraftsman.org. We do.
Please.
You can email us at info@themoderncraftsman.org. You can find us on Instagram.
Modern Craftsman. You can DM us with ideas, content, more special guests. You guys shape this podcast. Without your feedback, we can't shape it.
Tyler, what podcast apps are we on?
Alexa.
Getting Tyler involved, I love it.
Amazon. Spotify. That's a good one for everyone.
Yeah.
iTunes.
iTunes is a big one. Why?
I think, yeah, because we're up in the rankings there, and you can rate us on there. I'm pretty sure that Spotify should be number one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
You guys don't listen to Spotify?
Nah.
We're on it, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'll DL it tonight.
DL it. DLAF.
Guys, thank you so much
For listening.
You're welcome.
for listening.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Take care.